Let's work on implementing the cart screen. So let's go back to homescreen.dart. And then let's look for the action in our app bar. And here we say we have the cart with the current user cart.length. And for the onPressed, we want to add a navigator. Navigator.push context, and then material page route builder. And then all we have to do is instantiate the cart screen. Let's save and create the cart screen under the screens directory, cartscreen.dart. And we're going to make a stateful widget, cart screen, import material, and then for the build method, we will return a scaffold, hit save, and remember to import it in home screen. Now if we click on cart, we're going to segue to the cart screen. And we can add the app bar, title, text. And here we're going to do the same thing as the action button. So let's copy current user.cart length, and we'll paste that in as our title. Current user is from our data.dart file, so we need to import that here. Hit save. And now we have the cart and the number of items in the cart appearing. Next up, let's work on displaying each of our cart items. And we can see that we're using a list view builder here. And then we also use a separator in between each of our list items. So let's make the body list view.separated. And this list view will have an item count, which is equal to current user.cart.length item builder, where we get the build context, and the int index. And here we can just return a container for now. We'll set the height to 100.0, color to colors.red, and don't forget to set margin. And we get an error because we're missing the separated builder of our list view. So underneath item builder, we're going to add separated builder. And this also gives us a build context in index. And here we just want to return a divider with the height of 1 and the colors.gray. And make sure you spell divider correctly. Hit save. And now we see our containers with the light gray line between each of them. Now let's start building out these items. Instead of returning a container, let's first get the order. So order, and import that. Order is equal to current user.cart subindex. And then we'll return build cart item and pass in the order. We can write this function at the top of our cart screen state. Build cart item. And it takes in the order. Now if we analyze our cart item, we see that we're going to have a container. And inside that container, we're going to have a row widget, which contains all 3 of these items. And then we're going to have another row widget right here because we want to space between this section here. And it's similar to how we built out the other ones already. So now let's just start. Return container. We'll set the padding edge insets.all 20.0. And then we'll set the height to 170.0. After that, we'll instantiate our row widget that contains children. And then inside here, we need to make another row widget. So let's make our second row widget, children. And then let's make our container with a width of 150.0. It'll have a decoration, box decoration, image, decoration image, image, asset image, order.food.image URL. Let's hit save, and our images appeared, but we want them to fit the constraints. So fit boxfit.cover. And then to get the curved borders, we can just add on border radius to our box decoration, border radius.circular, 15.0. Next, we will make the column widget here. That will contain our food item's name, the restaurant it came from, and the quantity selector. So let's make a column. And then the main axis alignment will equal main axis alignment.center. And the cross axis alignment will be cross axis alignment.start. The children of the column will be text, order.food.name, and then we'll have a sized box of height 10.0, and then another text widget. In this case, it'll be order.restaurant.name. And now we have our text appearing. So let's add style. So let's add some style, text style, font size 20.0, font weight.bold. And then we'll copy this one for our restaurant name, but instead of font size 20, we'll make it font size 16. And then the font weight will be W600, so semi-bold. After that, we'll add our overflow, text overflow.ellipsis. And then in order for the text to work correctly, we need to first wrap our column in a container widget. So we can add some margin, 12.0. And then after that, we need to remember to wrap it in another widget called expanded. And then for that to work, we need to wrap this row right here containing the image and the column in an expanded widget too. And now it's appearing. Now let's create the quantity selector underneath our restaurant name. All this is a container with a row widget, and inside the row widget we have 3 text widgets. So minus, a number, and plus. And then the text widgets will have a gesture detector so we can tap on them to increment or decrement the quantity. So let's scroll down a bit, and then we'll put another size box here underneath the restaurant name. And we'll create the container with a width of 100.0. The decoration, we need to create the border box decoration. So box decoration, border radius.circular, 10.0. And then the border will be border.all, width 0.8. And the color will be colors.black 54. And then we have our border appearing. But we have to fill it up with some text so it spaces out a bit. So child, and here we're going to have a row with children. And the first text will be the minus sign. After that we'll have the number of items. So this would be order dot quantity dot toString. And after that we'll have the plus button. To center our text here, we can change our row widget by altering the main axis alignment, main-axis-alignment.center, and now it's in the center. To space out the text widgets, we'll add a sized box, width 20.0, and we'll put it before the +2. And now we can style our text. style, text style, color, theme.of context, primary color, font size 20.0, and the font weight will make it semi-bold. Now let's copy this text style for our plus button too. Now for our order quantity, we'll add a text style, font size 20.0, font weight.w600, and hit save. And then to make the text clickable here, we need to wrap our text widgets in a gesture detector. So wrap new widget, gesture detector, and then on tap will be an empty function, but if you implemented the actual functionality of this app, then you can add that functionality right here in the on tap. And then let's do the same for this text widget. Gesture detector, on tap, empty function. And for the last part of our cart item, we need to add the cost. So the cost is just the quantity times the price of the food item from that restaurant. So let's go down here, and then in the original row widget, so if we scroll up, we can see it's the first row widget. We're going to make a text widget, and this text widget will escape the $, and then string interpolation, order.quantity multiplied by order.food.price. And that's going to give us the correct price based on how much quantity of food we have. So hit save, and now the price appears on the right side. Let's style this text. Style text style, font size 16.0, and font weight.w600, and hit save. And we can test if our overflow works by adding some extra characters like we normally do. So let's go to the order food name, add some characters here, hit save. We see that the text overflow works. Now if we want to add some more margin to our price right here, we can go back down to our text and then wrap our text. We'll put it in a container and set the margin edge insets .all 10.0. And once we hit save, we'll see that the text moves inward. Now we're all done creating our cart items, and all that's left is to create the estimated delivery time and the total cost, and add in a bottom sheet to check out.